If you ever wondered what silence does to a narcissist, well, my friend, in this video, you will not only answer this question, but you might as well understand what is the most powerful tool you have in your disposal to stop any narcissistic abuse and to stop attracting more narcissistic partners to yourself. And also to allow yourself to let go, to forgive yourself about all the reasons you've attracted them before, and then be able to understand them deeply so that you don't allow that anymore. That being the case, let's directly get into this video. So hey there, my friend, I am Daniel, a relationship coach and the creator of the Soulful Relationships Experience, a program that helps you surround yourself by only conscious, uplifting, and meaningful relationships. If you're interested in that, you can check out some of the links in the description below, and you can eventually schedule a call with me where we can talk one-on-one on what that is and how it can help you. But knowing this now, if you want to answer this question, what silence does to a narcissist? Like, what is the effect of silence to a narcissistic person you have a relationship with in your life? Well, first, it will be really useful if we answer the opposite of that. So if we answered, well, what happens if you don't remain silent when a narcissist starts projecting or starts gaslighting you and then you start reacting? Because when we understand the dynamic of what happens when when you don't remain silent and present within your body, then you will see how powerful silence actually is and how you can apply it practically in a conversation or in a dynamic you're experiencing. So what happens when a narcissist intentionally, intentfully tries to trigger you, tries to get something of you, tries to like watch onto you and just drain your energy? Because this is what happens, right? When a narcissist starts triggering you intentionally and starts gaslighting, starts projecting his own wounds, inner wounds that he hasn't taken responsibility of to you, and then tries to make you the um like the perpetrator and to put himself in the position of a victim. Well, then what he's doing is he's trying to take responsibility for what he's not taking responsibility on the inside, and he's trying to make you responsible for wounds and patterns and limiting beliefs and fears that do not belong to you, but they belong to him. And so he's trying to fix them in yourself, or to blame you that you haven't fixed them. And I know that because personally I can say for myself that I've been that dynamic for a while in my relationships. It's actually, I've become a little bit narcissistic when I've surrendered and when I've put boundaries, and then I stopped tolerating any manipulation and narcissism in my life. And so a healthy dose of narcissism is actually healthy. It's actually beneficial. It actually helps you empower yourself. But so what happens when you react and don't respond with silence in a dynamic in which you're intentionally triggered by a narcissist? So you might find yourself that you start defending yourself. You might also find yourself that you start explaining yourself, maybe justifying yourself that you are right and that you know, and that you know how things happened, and you start explaining, and then you start defending. But this is the exact reaction that the narcissist wants from you. Because when you react in such a way, here is what happens metaphysically. Well, the narcissist, his attention is solely focused on himself, but he's feeling pain on the inside. Now the narcissist is not willing to take responsibility of that pain, and that's why he projects it onto you. And now he triggers you. Now, projecting the problem he feels on the inside on you, he tries to fix that problem in you, in the victim, right? In the victim. But he can only fix it if he says that you're the perpetrator of his own victimhood. And this is how he starts taking control over your emotions. So the moment you start defending yourself, justifying yourself, explaining yourself, this is exactly what he wants. He wants that because by doing so, you accept the fact, accept the frame that he has given you, that you are now the perpetrator of his own victimhood, and now he can blame you for that. And by doing so, he can he can delegate that responsibility which he isn't taking on you, and so he can consistently do that, which if that's done consistently for a long period of time, what happens is that you find yourself in a codependent relationship in which now your inner love, your inner worth, your inner power, your inner strength is dependent on whether you are fulfilling the needs of that narcissist, which are obviously not healthy, because he's not willing to take responsibility for his own needs on the inside, and that's why he always blames what he don't want to take responsibility of on you. This is again the dynamic. And so when you understand that justification, explaining, defending, it's of no use. You cannot win by doing so. This is the exact reaction they want from you. This is how they gain your energy. This is how, when they feel empty on the inside, now they're able to get the energy that they trigger from you and suck it for them. They want to watch on your triggers and suck your energy so that they feel empowered. And what happens after that? And tell me if this is true. Tell me in the comments, because I'm sure if you watch this video, you have experienced it. Then you feel depleted. Then you feel as if you are trying to save somebody who was not willing to be saved. Then you feel as if somebody was like trying to control and manipulate you and have power over you. This is what happens when you don't remain silent, when the narcissist applies his most favorite tactics: projection and gaslighting. Projection, projecting his inner fears, his inner wounds, his inner negative patterns that he's not willing to take responsibility of to you. And now, since you most likely are an empathetic, like big-hearted, kind-hearted, loving, and compassionate being, and you want to help them, right? So you want to try to save them from their own egocentricity and from their own self-hatred. And then you try to also justify that you're right in that moment, but it never works out. And so you can never save somebody who is not willing to be saved. This is something that you can remind yourself when you have like whatever relationship dynamic with a narcissist. Doesn't matter if that's your mother, your like father, if that's your partner, if that's your sister, if that's your boss at work. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's your husband, if it's your wife. No, it's the same. Justifying yourself, defending yourself, over-explaining yourself won't work, because the narcissist doesn't care about your words, doesn't care about what you think. He only cares about the energy that he's able to gain from you in the moments you start justifying and explaining yourself and defending yourself. Because this is the moment, again, in which you're surrendering to his game, to his frame, to the frame in which he put you. You being the perpetrator, he being the victim. And now, by consistently blaming you and finding the fault in you, he's able to suck your energy for himself, and then you feel depleted. Now, I won't repeat that pattern again. You obviously understand how it works now. But so, again, the question we wanted to answer in this video was, what does silence do to a narcissist? Like, what is the effect that silence has on the narcissist? So let's assume a hypothetical scenario in which the next time a narcissist starts projecting onto you, starts gaslighting you, you don't react. In fact, everything that you do in this moment is that you withdraw your awareness from the outside. And then instead of giving your awareness, your attentive awareness to him and trying to explain how you were right, how he's wrong, how you've done good, and he's in his rights to blame you, he doesn't care. Like, he won't even understand what you're saying. Instead, what you do is you withdraw your awareness on the inside. And now, instead of moving it on the outside and abandoning yourself, because this is what happens again, since the narcissist has already abandoned himself, and now his awareness is on you, and he wants to gain with his attention, he wants to suck your energy back to himself to fill a hole that he's not willing to take responsibility of himself to feel by himself. And so that's why he always needs to rely on those strategies, projection and gaslighting. But now you don't justify yourself, you don't explain yourself, you don't defend anything. Instead, what you do is you withdraw your awareness in this exact moment in which he wants to trigger you. You withdraw your awareness and then you hold it in your body, and then you're silent. Now, this is also similar to the gray rock method, like a tactic, a method that I've explained it in another video I have, where you can understand what are the 3 secrets you can use to like completely disarm a narcissist permanently. You can check it out here if it sounds interesting. And that in that video I explain in deep how it works, the like gray rock method. But now, okay, here is the effect, because we wanted to answer this question. Here is the effect of what happens when you remain silent and present in your body. So instead of listening to his words and like feeling triggered and trying to justify yourself, you just feel on the inside what happens. And instead of abandoning yourself to try to prove him that you're right and that there is something to defend and that your position is justifiable and it's like, yeah, it is just, this is the correct one. No, instead of doing that, you remain within yourself. What happens is that he loses his power. There is nothing for him to latch on, because now your awareness stays on the inside. And when your awareness is rooted on the inside and you remain silent, just being a present observer of what is happening within your own body, this is presence awareness. This is something I talk about a lot in this channel in my Wall of Assumption and Neville Goddard videos. You can check them out if you want. But you remain present, observant of your feelings. And now, since your awareness, like it's taking the place inside of your body, it's almost like this protective mechanism, this protective shield in front of you, which doesn't allow for his awareness to come inside of your body and to draw your energy back to him. So you won't feel depleted. The effects are that he'll actually become more angry. He will become more triggered because there is nothing to watch on anymore. He cannot get you anymore. You're not as easily swayed because you remain in your body, you remain silent. And then if you respond, if you say something, you just answer with as little words as you could. Something like, okay, I see you, I hear you. Oh, I understand. Okay. You remain untriggered. Your focus is on yourself. You become narcissistic. When you remain silent, you become narcissistic. You become self-centered, but in a positive way, in a way that actually is beneficial for you. So you remain there, and by remaining there, he doesn't have power over you. There is nothing for him to latch on, to hold on to. There is not a trigger, like since you're not trying to defend, justify, protect yourself, explain yourself, and since you're not trying to take that emotional energy that he's triggering and give it to him, which is the exact way that he's using to suck your energy, since you're not doing that, now you are actually breaking the bond, breaking this manipulative and codependent bond that he's trying to create to gain your energy. You're breaking the wound cycle. You're not allowing him to delegate the responsibility for his own inner wounds to you. Because ultimately, honestly, like if we look really deeply, narcissists are just really deeply wounded children. They're deeply wounded and they're not willing to take responsibility for that. They just believe that other people are tools for their disposal, and that's why they supply themselves with energy by triggering you. And this can be done, by the way, with somebody who is conscious and who is transparent and vulnerable in a really conscious way in which both of you are healing, but it's a completely different topic for a different video. If you're having a relationship dynamic with a narcissist, this won't work. So you just remain silent. And by remaining silent, now he is disarmed, since his tactics don't work anymore. This is why he'll try to trigger you even further. He might actually become even more aggressive. So I suggest you only try that if you feel that you're physically safe in the relationship with the narcissist, because sometimes it can get physically destructive and abusive. Like it can get really, like if somebody has a narcissistic traits, and like if you've been in a relationship with him for 5-10 years, and try to, and you've been living together, and if you try to do something like that, he can actually become physically abusive. He'll try everything in his power to trigger you and gain his, not his, but gain your energy, so that again he feels this hole on the inside of him. But so if you're dealing with situation like that, then it's a little bit different. Then you might want to use the gray rock method, not just remain silent, and maybe work with boundaries. This is something really powerful. Again, there might be different solutions if you've had such kind of long-term relationship with a narcissist and you're living together. But if it's just somebody who is trying to be narcissistic and with whom you don't have a deep relationship, if you remain silent, you're disarming them. They might become a little bit more aggressive, but then you don't react. And again, you don't react, you remain silent. And then you reply with, and you respond with as little word as possible. And so what happens is that he now understands, oh, now I see that this person is strong. They're not willing to play my game. So maybe I'll find myself another victim, right? So they'll leave you. And they might create a drama around you. They might go and speak to all your friends and like try to try to frame you in the worst possible light they can imagine, so that again they are trying everything in their power to trigger you, to gain your energy. But this only speaks of themselves. And don't worry, because most narcissists, if you understand how powerful silence is and non-reaction is, detachment, ultimately it's detachment, you're remaining detached. How if you understand how powerful that is and try to apply it in your life with narcissists, then you understand how little power they have. They're so powerless that they need to rely on strategies like projection and gaslighting to gain power from you, because they don't have it within themselves. And by remaining silent and by taking responsibility of those feelings that they're trying to trigger, and you staying there safe within your body, present, they understand how they can't control you, they cannot manipulate you, they cannot dominate you. This is not possible. And so by doing that, you understand how powerful you are. And by understanding how powerful you are, you see how powerless they are. And so in moments like, if you apply this for a while in a relationship with a narcissist, most likely he'll just give up. Eventually he'll just give up. He'll understand that it just doesn't work. I cannot do anything anymore because it doesn't work. I'm taking it seems that this person is taking responsibility for his own feelings. He knows that he's secure within his body. He feels powerful, courageous, confident. I cannot do anything to move him. He's unmovable. I cannot sway him. And so this is the power of silence, my friend. So if you've been curious, this is what happens. I hope that answers your question. And I highly encourage you, give it a try. If you're just understanding the power of silence and presence, give it a try when a narcissist is trying to trigger you. And now I also wanted I have an invitation for you. If you're absolutely tired, my friend, of experiencing any more narcissistic codependent relationships in which the other people around you don't care about you, don't take your needs seriously, they don't tolerate, they don't respect your boundaries, and they're not willing to support and lift you up in different areas you have in your life. You're tired of experiencing relationships like that, and you want to surround yourself by only people who support and lift you up. I highly encourage you to check out the free training you can find in the description below, in which you understand what are the 3 phases you pass through until you surround yourself by only conscious, uplifting, and meaningful relationships. It's a process I've discovered, like these 3 phases, it's a process I've discovered by working with more than 50 people individually. They all pass through these 3 phases. And if you understand how they work, then you can apply them in your life for the next 3 to 4 months and not experience any kind of codependent and manipulative relationships any longer. So if this is something that that you're tired of, definitely check out a training, my friend. You'll find it really valuable. That being the case, this is everything I wanted to share. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. If this is true, like it, comment down below. Let me know what's your experience with narcissists, and if you've tried remaining silent and present and conscious, being here now in a situation in which they're trying to trigger you. And what were the effects that had? I would love to hear out your story. I really love personal examples. So if you've tried that, I would love to hear out your story. And again, if you're new to the channel also, to the Soulful Relationships channel, subscribe to it, because with the content you see inside this channel, well, my intention is to help you surround yourself by your dream relationships, by the soulful relationships. That's why I'm the creator of the Soulful Relationships Experience program, because I believe that everybody deserves to be respected, cared for, supported by his social circles and all the people around them. So it is something valuable for you, and if you have a similar vision, subscribe to the channel, and I'm sure the content inside will help you get there. That being the case, thank you again for watching. Thank you for staying until the end. I love you, my friends. See you in the next video. Bye bye.